Hey everybody, chat with nobody else's auto. We are still in Pioneer Village in Minden, Nebraska. We just finally got out of the first main building, and we shot several videos in there and just scratched the surface. Where we're at now is we're out in kind of the courtyard area. We're gonna give you a quick walk around here. We'll catch a few automotive related things, but this is gonna be kind of a more overview of what's here, just to show to you that I know you guys want to come see cars, but the family, friends may be interested in other things. So we're going to give you a quick walk around the courtyard, give you a little better idea of what all is here. The original Elm Creek Indian Stockade. And we can take a peek in some of these buildings real quick as we're going. And these are furnished, decorated, and set up just as they would have been back in the day. Elm Creek Stockade. 5 families lived in this combined home at Indian Stockade for the first 2 years after they settled in this area. It was built in 1869. So as crazy as it is, if you look at the size of this place, there is an upstairs to it. You can tell just by me standing here against this wall how big this place is. I can almost get not too far from the wall to the steps. There is an upstairs, and that's what this place is so cool. They preserve this type of stuff too. Like I said, we're going to give you a quick overview. We want everybody to understand there's so much more here to see. Obviously, we want to see cars, but not everybody who wants to come with you may want to see cars. So we'll give you a quick walk around of what some of the stuff is here. The next building is also really cool. We will pop in here real quick. The People's Store. This is basically the general store. Like these other buildings, it is set up, stocked, just as it would have been in the day. So we'll pop in here real quick and take a look at it. Coffee grinders out front. At least I think they're coffee grinders, maybe not. They look like it to me. So inside the general store, fully stocked with the merchandise they would have had at that time. Shelves are full, things hanging from the ceiling, whatever they needed. Scale in the corner to weigh flour, salt, sugar, whatever you needed to weigh, had the scale, had mailboxes for people that came there that, lived in the country, had to have a place to have their mail delivered, displays, shoes in the box on the shelf, pans, buckets, barrels, butter churns, whatever you would have needed to get at your general store, they have stocked on the shelf just as it would have been back in the day. So we'll keep moving on around here. They have the original government land office from this area. This is the actual building. They took it down and moved it here, but this was the land office when people homesteaded in this area. It says, we don't have time to go through the whole sign, but in the late 1800s, this was the land office where people could come to this area and file their claim with the government. Moving on to the next building, they've got a fire station. Once again, stocked, based on the Model T we see, early 1900s up into the teens possibly. But a couple of different fire type apparatuses and fire extinguishers on display, toy fire trucks on display, all kinds of fire related apparatus. Next is the train depot, complete with the train. Big massive steam train. We come out here, we get a scope of the size of this thing. Big, massive, huge locomotive. They move in here and set on display. We can sneak back around here. They've got a depot set up. Got the sign up there on top of the old windmill type tower. We'll cut off over this way into the train depot. Really cool setup here, just like an actual train depot. Western Union Telegraph sign in the window. We can take a step inside of here, and you can get your ticket right here. peek back in the office where they had the operator's desk set up, the telegraph set up, as well as a collection of various railroad lanterns and oilers, you know, all related to the steam locomotive days. And back then, obviously, we had to have heat. They had a stove set up. And as we step over into this side of the depot, toy trains, lanterns, and a super, super awesome train setup in here. This thing is massive. This is an awesome train. Scale model built in the early 1900s. It was modified to look like the trains up into the 30s. So that's a super cool piece there, and that is a beast. Old lumber, probably from a depot. A lot of these buildings were local buildings that were dismantled, moved here, and reassembled. So these markings, I'm betting, were probably here from turn of the century when this was an actual depot. So try to keep moving here and give you, like I said, we're giving you a quick overview of everything here in the middle, not necessarily just the car stuff, but when you come here, I'm sure your friends and family are going to come with you. We want you to understand that there's so much here other than just the cars, that for everybody to experience, even the old hand cars. So, come across here, scooch past around this big, massive locomotive, and we'll make our way on down to the schoolhouse. Once again, this was the local schoolhouse. This is where Harold Warp went to school, if I remember correctly. I haven't been here in a year or two. I need to double check that. But I believe this is where he went to school. They dismantled the house, moved it here to Pioneer Village, reassembled it, set it back up, just as it would have been back in the day. So we'll poke in here real quick, take a look at it. The Grom School District, Kearney County, Nebraska. So this was local. And there is Harold Warp, 60 years later, same pupil, sitting in his seat. So, kind of neat story, kind of a neat tie. Lunch pails, baseball masks, bats, gloves, just like they used back in the day. We pop in here, set up just like a one-room schoolhouse. Stove in the middle, little desks, teacher stands, books, maps on the wall, blackboard. Exactly as it would have been in the day. So we're going to keep boogieing here, keep working our way on around, checking this stuff out. We'll come down the ramp. The next step we're going to make is the Sod House. Literally built out of sod. Back at the turn of the century, as homesteaders came to the Midwest, there weren't a lot of trees. If there's not a lot of trees, there's not a lot of lumber. If you've got to ship it in, it's expensive. They had to bring it on a train, they had to bring it by horse and buggy. So what they did is they would literally strip strips of sod with this real thick prairie grass in it, and the root base held this sod together almost like bricks. And they would start stacking them up, and that's what they built them out of. They would literally rip the sod out of the ground, cut it. The root base in this old grass held the dirt together, and they stacked them up like bricks and built what was called a sod house, literally out of dirt. We can take a peek in this one. Once again, like all these buildings, it's set up just as it would have been back in the day. An old wood-fired cook stove, and the bedrooms. You know, old rope beds. Back in the day, you didn't have box springs. You strung rope between the timbers, and if you were lucky, you had a mattress or something you could fill with feathers or something to make it soft to sleep on. Obviously very primitive, didn't have a lot back then. Got the baby carriage in the corner, and it's kind of about what you had. But they didn't have much. These homesteaders that came out to the Midwest in the 1800s came out here without anything. They came out to make a better life. And the only way they're going to make a better life for themselves is to do it themselves. And that's just the way things were and still are. You can do anything you want to do, but you have to do it. You have to have the drive, the motivation to get out there and do it. And these homesteaders that came out here and built and lived in sod houses are the definition of that. The next building we're going to go into real quickly, obviously not my cup of tea, so to speak, china and glass. But like I said, you may have friends and family that want to come here with you that may not be as interested in the cars and the vehicles like we are. So we'll poke in here real quick just to give you an overview of a triangle glass collection in this building. Like I said, you may have some friends coming with you that want to see some of this other stuff. So we're going to just give you a quick shot of it so you know what's here. So obviously, not my cup of tea. If you're hanging out here with me, probably not your cup of tea. But I want to give you a good overview, a good scope of what is really here. So we're going to make our way around to the church. They've got their own church set up. 1884 church that they moved in here. And if we look back this way, this is where we're going to go in a little bit. These are the buildings where we're heading to shortly. There are several buildings back there full of cars. So that's where we're going to head in a little bit after we give you this quick overview of the courtyard area here. Back here, they've got a blacksmith shop all set up, complete with the overhead belt system, household appliances, the evolution of household appliances. We can peek in there real quick but it's kind of neat just to see the evolution, the changes that we see in a lot of this stuff. You know, stoves, refrigerators, even scales, things like that, how they've changed over the years. In order, the differences, and you can see them. Toasters, the most mundane household appliance, still has a story to tell. It still has an evolutionary process and a cycle. We can see that right there. Millstones for grinding grain. This last building they've got here just says Hobbies. There's all kinds of different things that people like to collect in it. There's some interesting stuff in this building. We'll peek in here real quick, and then we'll get this one wrapped up and we'll get on to some more car stuff. But we can look in here at anything people like to collect. There's pens and pencils, figurines, salt and pepper shakers, all kinds of different collectible type stuff. Just another different genre of what people may be interested in that they can show you here at Pioneer Village. And even over here, they've got liquor decanters. People collect those. There's even some car liquor decanters. So, all kinds of cool stuff. Stuff you wouldn't normally think about, but they've got it here, and that's what's cool. It's such a diverse collection. The cars are great. We're going to bring you a ton more cars, and that's why we're here, and that's why I know you're here. And we've got a few automotive type related pieces on this clip, but the majority of this is just a quick overview. And we'll wrap up right here with this awesome 50s era diner. It's not open today. They are just getting geared back up. When they're busy in the summer and they've got good crowds here, this will be open and you can purchase drinks, and I think they've got ice cream and things here. So this is an original 50s era diner. I don't remember if this was a Valentine or not, but it was that type of a diner that was moved in here. Obviously still got trains coming through the area. We can hear them right now. So, but if we look back over, we can get a good overview from here of the different things that there are here. They literally do run the gamut of all kinds of different stuff. You can see here that maybe some people that want to come with you might be interested in. So anyway, we're going to wrap this one up. We're going to get to some more cool cars. And as always, thanks for being here. If you're on Facebook, please share the video and like the page. Tell your friends about us. Have them come hang out with us. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos. Lots more cool stuff coming. As always, I appreciate you spending a few minutes out of your evening with me. Stick with us. We're going to go shoot some more cool cars. There's no way I can get everything here on videos, but we're going to get some highlights to you. As I keep stressing, you've got to check this place out. You have to come see it. Don't miss it. Check them out. Pioneer Village, Minden, Nebraska, and we will see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.